This is a tutorial on installing Nushell on macOS.
Hello everyone, my name is Maxim Uverov. I'm Nushell Prophet. My mother tongue language isn't English, and I decided to use a text-to-speech engine here in this video for the sake of clarity and ease of understanding. I hope it will not spoil the video much.
I'm using a clean macOS Tahoe virtual machine to ensure we cover all setup steps from scratch. You'll find the link to this manual in the description. We'll install Homebrew, configure the XDG config home environment variable, and set up Git to track your configuration changes. By the end, you'll have a solid foundation for learning and using Nushell effectively. First, we need a text editor. I personally use the Helix editor, but for beginners, VS Code is simpler and more reliable to start with. I'll head over to code.visualstudio.com and download the installer. After downloading, I'll move the file into the Applications folder, then open VS Code. I'll confirm the security request from macOS since this is the first time opening the app. Now I'll close the unneeded panes in VS Code. We're ready to continue. Next, let's install Homebrew, the package manager we'll use to install Nushell. I'll open brew.sh in my browser and copy the installation command. Now I'll open Terminal, paste that command, and press Enter. After the installation completes, Homebrew will display some commands I need to run. You'll see them in the terminal output. I'll copy those commands, paste them into the terminal, and execute them. This adds Homebrew to the shell's path. Let's verify the installation by running brew doctor. If everything looks good, we're ready to move on. Installing Nushell. First, I'll check out the package information. This shows what version we're about to install. Now I'll install it. Once that's done, I'll launch Nushell by typing "nu." And there we go, Nushell is running. Now let's check where Nushell stores its configuration. You'll notice the path contains spaces. This is the default on macOS. From my experience, having spaces in config paths causes issues when copy-pasting and creates other inconveniences. So let's relocate the configuration to a better location. First, I'll launch Nushell without saving history. This prevents recreating the config folder during the move. Now I'll create the .config directory. I'll move the configuration to the new location. This preserves existing history and settings. Let's verify the folder appeared. Now I'll create a symbolic link. This ensures the config is found even when XDG config home isn't set. Let's verify the symbolic link works. Since ZSH is the default macOS shell, I'll add the XDG config home environment variable to its configuration. This ensures it's available when launching Nushell. I'll try to open the ZSH configuration file in VS Code with command code. And as we just installed the editor, the command isn't available in our environment yet. To fix the command not found error, I'll open VS Code, press Command-Shift-P, type install path, select the install command, and press Enter. I'll confirm the action in the macOS pop-up by entering my password. Then I'll try the code command again. And now it works. In the file, I'll add this line. I'll save the file. In the video, I exit from Nushell to ZSH, and then I apply the changes. I'll verify the variable is set. You should see the path printed. I'll close the file in VS Code now. Now I'll launch Nushell again. And I'll verify Nushell is using the new location. You should see ~.config/Nushell, a path without spaces. Excellent. Initializing Git repository. Now let's set up Git to track the configuration changes. This is really helpful. If something gets messed up, it's easy to revert to a working state. I'll navigate to the config directory. First, I'll configure Git with my name and email. You should replace these with your own. I'll initialize the Git repository. Let's check what's in the current directory, only the Nushell folder in my case. Now I'll check what's inside the Nushell folder. I'll add the Nushell configuration files and create the first commit. Let's verify the commit by running git log. The configuration is now tracked by Git. Basic settings. Let's configure some basic settings. First, I'll open the environment variables file. If this doesn't work, it's because the editor environment variable isn't set, as you can see in the error message. I'll set it by running. Then I'll run config env again. The default env.new file provided by Nushell should open in VS Code. You can see it has helpful comments and examples. I'll add that same line to the end of the file to make it persistent, then save. I'll restart Nushell. Now, because of the changes we made, I can open the main configuration file with this command. I'll confirm the requests from VS Code to trust the workspace and to use the Git repository for the folder where our files are located. Now I'll install the Nushell language extension for VS Code. I'll open the extension section, search for Nushell, click Install, and confirm that I trust the authors of the extension. With the extension installed, you can see that the comments in our config.new file are now highlighted in green. Next, I'll execute the command from the comments to see all the settings that are available for Nushell. I'll pick the most important ones for now. To move up and down by one line, I use the J and K keys. To enter search mode, I press the / key, type banner, hit enter, and copy the line found. However, in my settings, I'll change the value from true to false. You can find these exact settings in the manual. They switch the history to SQLite format for storing additional meta information, increase the history database table size, and disable the startup banner. I'll save the file and restart Nushell. To preserve my text-based history, I'll import it to SQLite. I'll navigate back to the config directory. Now let's commit these changes. First, I'll see what changed. I'll commit the changes. I'll check the status again. You'll notice history files showing up. We don't want to track those in Git, so I'll create a .gitignore file. I'll add this line. I'll save the file. Now I'll check the status. The history files should no longer appear. Now I'll commit the .gitignore file using the commands from the manual. Congratulations! We've successfully set up Nushell with a clean, solid foundation to build on.